Welcome to season 2 of Story Struck. I'm so excited to be back. Welcome, Rachel. How was your little break?
Hello. Yeah, I'm super stoked. We have so many fun plans for this season. My break was definitely well needed. Wrapped up a book project for a client on like a shorter time frame, so that gave me the space to do that. So that worked really, really good. And just got some time to relax and refresh and just kind of think about what I want to do this year for my own writing and business and all that stuff. How about yourself?
It was so needed. Every year I take at least part of December and January away from my business and just kind of like be in the family space. And it's always like the most needed part of my year because that little step back helps me kind of zoom out and start the next year on a more clear and solid footing.
Yeah, Loki's obviously very excited. Like
Loki's so
sleeping
pumped.
in
He's like,
here for
yes, we're back on camera. I can be the
yeah, he's
star
like an hour and a
again.
half. I've been sleeping and we've been talking, and oh, now I want to come and say hello.
So hopefully you're watching on the YouTube and you can see
Oh my
Rachel
God.
battling with her cat.
Yeah. Oh my God. He's like all into everything right now. I don't
I
even
am the
know.
star of
Like
the show.
he
Like it's
just
the
like
Loki
saved it in.
podcast. It's not.
I know. I'm gonna go out the room now.
He's like, no, don't send me out, Mom. It's my time to shine.
He's like, yeah, we're having kitty guests this year. Did you not know that, Mom? I am now the official third co-host.
Honestly, we need to have like a cartoon of like 3 black cats or something for
Yeah.
all of our black cats that just decide to. It should just be like in the center of our logo. It's like our face,
Yes.
our each other's faces, and then like the cats right in
Our
the
little
center.
mascots.
Right? So
Oh my
perfect. I'm
goodness.
really excited for this season. I think last season we did really awesome for our first season. I am
Mm-hmm.
so proud of us for getting some amazing guests and putting out some, I think, really awesome episodes that I think were really helpful for a lot of people. And it was so excited to see how like we started getting comments on our videos and things like that, and actually seeing how we are, putting things out there that are helping people. And I'm really excited to continue growing it. We have for the first episode, we're not being too serious. We're just kind of like chit-chatting and talking about what we have planned and such. So one of the things we have planned is that we are going to have some really awesome guests, but we're going to do it in a way that's a little bit more structured. So we'll have one-on-one episodes, just me and Rachel talking about our subject. And then we'll have a special guest come on because last year we had so many guests that wanted to come on that we're like, okay, well, we need to put all the guests in. And we didn't get as many one-on-ones with us. So we're going to have like a little bit more structure. So we'll have 2 episodes a month, I guess, depending on when everything starts coming out. But it's going to be every other episode with a guest. And we have some really, really awesome guests. I am so excited for everyone to hear our first guest because she was so amazing. We've already recorded it. She was so amazing. I'm so excited.
Yeah, build the anticipation, folks. And that, like, our first one is definitely one. If you listen on audio, I would highly suggest when we do this first guest that you're going to want to watch the video because she had so many incredible visuals talking about marketing for authors. And I know I walked away with so many amazing tidbits from that. It was really fun
I
because
know.
that
I
was
cannot
literally
wait
the
to
first
hire
thing we
her.
recorded this year, and now I'm like pumped.
I know, like I'm just like, okay, cool, you're hired. And like, so we had just because her and I had just connected on LinkedIn just because we were in similar markets, and I'm like, wait a second, let's chat. And we chatted. I'm like, you're freaking amazing. Will you come on the podcast? And so I'm like, I'm so sold. I cannot wait for her to make my book website. I'm so excited about it. I'm like, so I need to be doing this now. Like, I'm going to be doing this now. So
Absolutely. Oh my goodness.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we have some of our clients who are going to come on talking about some of their books that have come out or are coming out, and I'm really excited about that. We will have some repeat guests that are like fan favorites, and I'm really excited about that because they were so amazing when they came on for season 1 that I'm excited to continue talking with them for season 2, especially now that we have more of a platform and more people can like just see the magic that is them. And we're doing something new this season that I am especially pumped about. It's going to kind of be like a special episode that comes out every now and then. We're calling them story spirals. And so basically, Rachel and I are going to read a book and we're going to go down a story spiral about the story. We're just going to go like ham and talk about that story, talk about the crafting of it, the characters, the plot line, and like all of our writers' thoughts. Because we just do that anyways when we just talk about different stories and different things. So if there is a book that you want us to go down the rabbit hole of, let us know and we'll put it on our list. We're going to do it by category. So our first book that we're going to do is Legends and Lattes. So we're doing a cozy fantasy because we're both cozy girlies. In fact, if you're watching the YouTube, you can see my book, my Cozy Girl Book Club coffee mug that I am drinking out of right now. Love me a good cozy story. So I'm really excited about that one.
Yeah, I think that's going to be absolutely great because, like, when we're just talking back and forth, we'll just like get into like all these tangents of like, oh, well, this character development here, and like, oh, the dialogue, or like all the different things, the plotting. And we have so much fun talking about it that we thought it would be fun to share with everybody and just give you a little taste of like the types of things that go through our heads, which I'm sure are going through yours. And we can learn so much when we read like a writer. And I think that that's going to be really crucial in these episodes, is teaching us the difference between reading for pleasure and reading like a writer or reading like an author, and how we can capture things we like, things maybe we don't like for our own writing. Because we may be like, I love to read this style, but that doesn't really connect with how I like to write. And that's awesome because you're learning something about yourself. And I think it's just going to be so much fun. And I cannot wait to read Legends and Lattes because I've heard amazing things about it. I know, Nino, you've read it before and you liked it so much. You're like, I will read it again because we want to do that one. So yeah, I think it's going to be tons of fun. And everyone we do is going to be a different genre. So we'll be able to hit a bunch of different types of things. So I cannot wait. And I feel like maybe, since you're not a big horror fan, I don't read a lot of horror, but we had that awesome guest talking about it. Maybe we need to find a horror book to read that's not like gory horror, but kind of like in the realm of ones where like, ooh, we might enjoy like that gothic horror or that psychological horror where it's not like the violent horror. That might be kind of fun to take us out of our comfort zone and like kind of get our reactions from reading that too.
I'm really excited to get out of because I get into a fantasy hole. Like huge variety of fantasy, dark fantasy. I even have started to dabble in romantasy, or should I say straight romantasy, which is really outside of my comfort zone. But like it generally I stick in the fantasy hole, like somewhere in the fantasy realm of things. And so I'm excited to try some other ones and go down these rabbit holes with you to kind of explore some different things. And I really want us to do some that are not just like ones that you'll see people talk about all the time. Like we're not going to do The Hobbit. You know, we're not going to do those types of things that are just like, we're going to do popular books, but not books that everyone and their mother talks about, per se.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it would be really, really amazing if we could do a story spiral, maybe with one of the authors. And I have one in mind because I have her book and it's a gothic horror. And I started reading it and I got scared, but maybe I can push myself through it.
You're so funny.
Like, she gave it to me and she's just like, because I have it autographed. I met her at a book signing thing, and she gave it to me and she's like, I think this one's going to be okay. It's a little dark, but it's not super scary. It's not super gory. And I got 2 chapters in and I'm like, I'm having nightmares about worms. Like,
oh God, I think I would have nightmares about worms. Oh my goodness.
Gosh. And so I'm just like, why am I such a chicken? I can listen to dark stuff. Like, I don't know if you guys have listened to the Poppy War series by R.F. Kuang. Fantastic book. She is a fantastic writer. Like, what a brilliant mind this woman has. It's dark. It is dark shit. But it's not scary. It doesn't have that suspense or that, like, you know, lurking monster in the corner kind of sense to it. And I'm like, why am I don't know. And even like Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab, like that one had like a dark, spooky, monstrous kind of vibe with it and stuff like that. And that I was fine with. I don't know. Make it make sense. I don't know. But I am really excited to check out some other genres and stuff. And so if there's a book or a genre that you're just like, please talk about this, let us know in the comments or email us, because we really want to interested in. So we have some episodes planned that I think are going to be really helpful for aspiring authors. Do you have one that you're like especially looking forward to?
So I'm looking forward to all of them. I guess for myself, I will touch on the editing one since that's kind of what I do. Basically, we're going to have like an episode that's like an editing crash course because there are so many different types of editing out there. And something that editors we find a lot is that someone comes to us thinking they need one type of editing, but they need something else. Or like sometimes there's just confusion also over the terms of what type of editing does what, and also when you should get each stage of editing done. And so I think the episode is going to be really great to help kind of clarify for everybody what that whole process looks like. And right, like a lot of people think their book is ready for editing and it's not exactly there. And if you go into editing too soon, you're going to be wasting a lot of your time and a lot of your money. And editors, we don't want that. We want you to get so much value out of coming to us, but also walk away feeling excited and empowered to do that editing. And if you come to it too soon, you're not really getting enough to make your story the best it can be, and it might actually be very discouraging or harmful. So that's something I just can't wait to like talk about all of the nuances with that. And I think we just have so many fun story crafting ideas, like of the writing craft, story craft in general to talk about this season. So we do have several already mapped out, and we have a list of other ones. But same thing with like the books that we're reading. If there's a specific type of guest or a specific topic that you want us to dive in, like maybe you're all about dialogue and you're like, I like need some help because my characters all feel like it's the same person talking. I don't know. Whatever it is you want to know, let us know, because that is what we are here to do. So what about you, Nino, as far as like some of our one-on-one episodes? What
Well, the one that I am like, because we literally just decided this for this episode or whatever, like I am so looking forward to talking about publishing scams and the things to look out for publishing. My friend just got pitched for something, and thank God she is friends with me because I pegged that as a publishing scam a mile away. And she like just had a funny feeling about it, but she just didn't know. And I just think that that is so important because I think a lot of publishing has been kind of gatekept on purpose, making it kind of difficult to understand and stuff. And so then whenever you have these companies or people who pitch you certain things, it's easier to get taken by it because it feels like a door, an opportunity for things. And then it turns out to be just something where somebody else is just making so much money off of it. We did the math on it and we're like, this person's literally making $20,000 to do this. And so like every time that they publish this book with your stuff in it, like they're making like $20,000 and you're making nothing. They're not even selling the books.
It's
like
doing nothing for you.
Oh my gosh. And so I'm really excited to talk about like the publishing episodes, particularly like the scams to watch out for and the red flags to look out for. I'm really excited to dive into hybrid publishing. We're going to try and get a hybrid publisher on, an ethical hybrid publisher, because that is a very nuanced like avenue for publishing where it could be very good and very bad. And sometimes you just don't know because you don't know what you don't know. And so, I am all about the impact. And so anything that's going to help prevent people from being taken advantage of, I am fucking all over that. So I'm really excited about those episodes. I really have my fingers crossed for one of my two favorite hybrid publishers. And so I'm like, I really hope we can get one of them on, because they are the ones who are pushing for ethical and transparent hybrid publishing. And because and also just like the discussion about like the different publishing avenues and why you would choose one over the other, because there's no wrong answer there. Generally, there's no wrong, like if you want to do trad, if you want to do hybrid, if you want to do indie, or if you want to do self-publishing, like all are good in their own rights. They all have pros and cons. And so I'm really excited to just talk about that. So like we have like what, 3-4 episodes on publishing
just on publishing.
No. And I'm really excited for those.
The publishing one, I think, or like kind of our series of them that we developed that we want to work on. I think that's going to be absolutely huge, because that's something that I see a lot too when people are coming for editing, and I know you for book coaching, and we ask them, what are your plans for publishing? And a lot of people are like, I don't know. Like there's so much information out there. There's a lot of misleading information out there. And just in general, even if you know the route you want to go, it's very overwhelming to even just sort through that. There's like so many moving pieces, no matter which one you actually choose. So I think the series of episodes we're going to be doing on that this season is going to provide so much clarity. And I think it'll be really fun to, be able to talk to our guests about that as well as we did in the last season, because we had guests who had gone all of the routes, right? We had, indie published, we had traditionally published, hybrid publishers. And I think we're looking at the same kind of thing this year with the variety of guests that we have. And I think that's so powerful to see that no matter which one you choose, you're gonna be able to get your book out there in the world. And it's just finding which one is the best for your specific goals as an author and for the type of book that you're writing as well.
Yeah. And that's going to be, I think that series is going to be really, really helpful for a lot of people. And I did want to note that in my community, because we're doing these story spirals on stories and stuff, but in my community, we're going to be doing a book club for books about writing. So that way together we can learn and grow as authors and discuss those different things. So if you're looking for a book club to participate in and you want to chat with us about that, you are welcome to join the Story Weavers community, which is usually linked in the comments and such. So if you want to dive into a book club, that's going to help you to develop more than just listening to the podcast and join our meetings and our community calls and our workshops. Check that out. And what else? Oh, what are some of your writer's intention? Like for your stuff in your book. Tell me, what is your goal for your writing this year?
So for my writing this year, I have been thinking so much about the authors that we interviewed last year and hearing pretty much all of them talk about short story. And so that is going to be a big goal for me this year, is to work on doing some short stories and looking to get a short story published. I think that will be so amazing, because like for my book, I realize that my book is my passion project. My book isn't necessarily my career, right? And so I don't want to feel forced that I have to do my book in a certain amount of time, because I know personally for me, that will make me go into overanalyzing brain, and it will cause me to shut down and go into the perfectionism because it has to be done by this time. So that means I got to do blah, 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 blah. Where if I let it more organically happen and kind of let go of a little bit of that rigid structure of the Virgo perfectionist autism energy, that I think it's going to just feel so much more natural. Because I've noticed that at the times when I kind of just let it sit and marinate, that's when the ideas came, and I rode that wave of creativity, but then I didn't force it once it started to feel hard, because then whatever I was doing, it didn't feel right for the story and it felt draining. So I think that working on those short stories in between the big creative surges for my book is going to be very freeing for me to get more of like that instant gratification, right? Versus having to do this whole big epic book. And I think it's going to be great for also practicing my writing craft and my editing, practicing my networking, and, you know, getting my work out there and building my network of connections as well. So that's the big goal for this year, is to work on doing some short stories. And I can use also the short stories to explore my book too, right? So maybe I will write a short story that is, you know, from one of my main characters in the book, and maybe it's something that happened to him before the book occurred, or maybe it's a story that happened to him within the context of my book, but it's not something we ever see on the page. And so it's a way for me to dive a little bit deeper into him, and then I eventually can have that be something I give to my readers as like a lead magnet or a little bonus goodie for being part of my reader community.
Yeah. Oh, I love that idea, because like, you know, whenever you like get into a fandom, you know, you just want more all the time. Like, oh my God, if the Emily Wilde series had a bunch of short stories about like little side quests that Wendell had gone on, I would be obsessed. I would be so obsessed. So I love that idea. I want to work on some short stories because I have like that all or nothing writer thing. I'm writing a book and it's a whole ass book, or it's a poem and it's short and it's to the point, right? And so like that middle ground of how you put a story within a small range. Hi, Frozen. Okay. So, you know, bringing that into a short story, I want to work on that. But my big writing goal this year is to get Loki's book querying, like to bring it, like to query and land because I'm like, see, I have this whole vision for my author career. I need my sole literary agent. Like, we are soulmates as an author and literary agent. I am looking for a ride or die, that someone's going to be with me long term, because I have, I have a TBW the size of my arm. Like, it's so long. And I'm like, this is just step one. And for some reason, I picked the hardest book to write. Like, why I thought writing a narrative around an already existing mythology would be an easy job. It's not, because I started writing. I started writing a cozy fantasy in the fall to just like add a little extra creativeness while I was editing. And I'm like, holy crap, this is so much easier to just like bring it all from my brain instead of having to research and learn an entire new, like an entire mythology, an entire world in order to integrate it into my own. It's just crazy. But I am going to continue working on my Loki series, and excited to query my Loki novel, the first of the series of 3, and hopefully find my soul literary agent to help me get some of my work out there. And yeah, that is my big goal. Finish these edits. I think I have figured out my stride with my editing, and I am like ready for these edits to just like roll, so I can be querying by my birthday.
I
That's
love that. And when you were talking about your the cozy fantasy that you were writing, like that one was so much fun. And I love that it was almost like a palate cleanser for you, that you needed to step away from the Loki book. You did that, and then you came back and you were like boom in the zone with your editing. And so that's kind of also part of my game plan for the short story, is that I'm going to try writing short stories in different genres, because I want to see how it feels to write in different genre. But also maybe I will change up like the POV that I use. Because like, right, like you might have like a default POV that like you just love, but like, all right, let's like challenge that and try to write a different way. So that's kind of my in tandem goal, right, with my short story writing, is to practice my writing craft and get out of that comfort zone of trying the different genres. So like my first short story that I'm working on right now is actually a gothic horror short story. So yeah, so my little one I'm doing now is, there was, I think it was in like the 1910s, it was early 1900s. There was and now my brain's gonna go out there. It was a fire in a shirt factory, and it basically, yeah, it was a factory that women were in, and they essentially locked the doors on the women. There was a big fire in there, and that kind of spurred workers' rights movements for better working conditions in the United States. So I'm writing a gothic horror about that, and I'm taking it from a little bit of this kind of supernaturally thing of, what if that fire wasn't set, like what if it was intentional and it was caused by something evil. And so I like have it all in my head. There's some sapphic elements in it, we have the gothic horror elements in it, a little bit of like capitalistic greed. Like there's so many layers of things that like I normally wouldn't like write about this type of stuff, but the idea just like flowed in my head, and I know the whole story. I already know the whole story start to end in my head. And I've started like plotting it out, developing the characters, and I'm just so pumped. And I have even 2 alternate endings depending on if I want it to be a very dark ending or more of like your traditional ending. But I think I'm going to end up going with the darker ending.
I was about to say, it's going to be the dark ending. Like,
yeah, it's going to be the dark ending. And it's just so fun and almost freeing. And I felt like this flowed a little bit easier than doing my other book, because I'm so invested in that story, and I know the story arc is going over multiple books, and it's just, you know what I mean? Like this just felt so much tighter, but also fun because it's completely different from my other book.
Yeah, that was something I wanted to work on too, like with the short stories is, so in my book, I only have little bits of mythology in it. Like my book is bridging the gap between a couple of major mythological stories.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking, how fun would it be to write some short stories that are like my version of the old mythology from my perspective, because my perspective on the mythology is very different, looking at it as a queer feminist. And so I was thinking about that. Oh, and we were talking about maybe starting a Substack after talking about Haley. Like we were talking about maybe doing a Substack and thought that it would be really cool if we just did a short story, story struck. There's too many S's.
Tongue twister Substack.
Yeah, the story struck Substack. Oh, that's so hard to say. We're gonna have to maybe work on that. Like short story. Y'all know what I'm saying.
All the S's all together. Substack.
Yeah. Yes.
We'll call it the S stack.
That way
there we
we would
go.
have, it's like sometimes it would be Rachel's short story. Sometimes it would be my short story. Sometimes maybe we have a guest that puts a short story out. Or if there's a short story that a listener submits and wants it on the Substack, that we could just have like a platform of storytelling on to something to do that. So we've been discussing that. We haven't made any official plans on it yet because it's still January and I've been sick, if you haven't been able to tell. So it's still in the works, but if that's something that interests y'all, type it in the comments, send us an email, send us a DM, do one of the things to let us know. But I think that would be just a really fun way to like add things to the community of people that we're growing in there for Storystruck. So I'm excited to hopefully maybe develop that. Don't know when though.
Yeah, so many fun plans this year. So many great topics and guests that we have lined up and ones that we are courting to come on the podcast. And I think it's just going to be a really amazing year. And like that this is like we're going to have a full year this year, where last year we started in the summer and we did so much in that 6 months. I was just blown away. So I can't even imagine how this year is going to be.
Yeah, I'm really excited. So if anyone has any comments, questions, ideas, things they want to throw out there, you know what to do. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the things. So, do the little bell if you're on YouTube. Do something so that way you can be up to date on all of these episodes, because we're really, really crafting something this year that I think is going to be so beneficial for our listeners. We really, really want to give something to everybody that's going to help them grow and evolve, because, it's not like writing is not just a craft that is like a fun creative expression. It's also something that creates change in the world. It's something that not only helps to change your readers' lives, but also plants seeds that develop into something more in this world. So it's about making positive change for everybody who listens. So please join us in creating that change together. So until our next episode, be sure to check it out, because our guest is dope on a rope. So and we'll see you next time.